Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Red Hot Racing League. Tonight we are here for some Xfinity Series action at Bristol, the last great Colosseum for the night race. It's going to be a banger here tonight. We're going to see a lot of bumpers and a lot of tempers flaring. But before I get into anything, or before Kevin gets into anything, we're going to give you the starting grid presented by Circle B Diecast. Abyss will have you covered with that one, Abyss.
Yes, thank you, my friend. Starting at the rear of the field in 26th place, we have Ideal Fungus starting in the back of the field. I believe this will be his first start of this season. Right next to him in the 25th position, we have Ya Gamers, and then after that in the 24th we have Cody. After that, we in the 24th position, the man that won yesterday in the Truck Series, we have Mr. Asylums, the man starting 22nd. We have Subgolf, and then the man 21st would be Horatio, and then this is when it starts getting very fun, my friends. Starting 20th, I could be messing this guy's up name, so apologies. Thurs, I could be saying the name complete. Thrills, okay, thank you, Thrills. And then starting at 19th, we have Foreign Fuel, and then starting. Oh, okay. I see what we did that. I didn't see the numbers correctly. And then starting 16th is Toasted Gamer Z. Starting 15th, we have NM Right 42. Starting 14th, Trippy Tricks. Starting 13th, Fabico Gamer. Starting 12th, we have 0944. And then Mr. The man starting 11th will be Brodozer. And now we get to the all-famous top 10. These guys have had the best starting, average finishing positions of the season. Here we go. Starting 10th, we have C4 Life. And then starting 9th, we have ARDKO 77. Then we have Gamers starting 8th. Air Just Cause starting 7th. Legend Johnson starting 6th. Haha Boog starting 5th. Graham Cracker number 2, man that won last week for his first career win in, I believe, any setup leagues. He will be starting 4th. Starting 3rd is Super NASCAR fan. Starting 2nd is Mr. T-Glass. And the man running the point, that will be starting on the front row, man number 1, is Mr. OK Sideways. And that is your Circle B Diecast starting lineup.
Yeah, thank you, Abyss, for giving us a lineup there. Pretty star-studded lineup that we got going on here tonight. I know I hear some heavy hitters in there. Kevin, would you like to give us some of your thoughts here? Who do you think is going to be the dominant one to come out on top here tonight, or dominant multiple of people? And what are your keys here tonight to win at the short track Bristol?
Well, again, we come to. Oh, give me a second. Sorry, there we go. Sorry, guys. But no, again, we come here to another short track, and we've seen this story play out a many times before. It always seems to really be these same guys that show up and show out here. And if you factor in the fact of we have a lot of the same guys that ran Martinsville last night, which, while, yeah, they're completely different tracks, I've noticed in my time of calling these things, you see quite a few of the same guys really seem to show up. So I expect that again, and the guys that I would be looking for, and honestly, they're going to create a little bit of a show for us because they're going to be starting from a little bit far back in the field. Let's start with Asylums running down here part-time. He's starting deep in the field. He's going to be trying to carve his way through traffic. You move your way up a little bit, you find Trippy Tricks, who has seemed to just have the bug of second place bite him over and over and over. Still looking for that elusive first win. Hoping to try to get that done tonight. I know he has high hopes coming in here. He's going to be fast. Toasted Gamers is another one who always seems to show up, particularly here at Bristol. I think he'll have something to say as well. And a little bit of an underrated driver, and it would depend on how this plays out. I wouldn't count out Idyllic Fungus based on the way the third stage is supposed to cycle out, but we'll get there later on. I could see Fungus. I know he hasn't been back for very long, but did pretty good last night at Martinsville. You might have something to say, at least for a top 5, possibly, towards the end of this race. And again, there's quite a few other guys that are probably going to have something to say here as well that I haven't really seen race Bristol a whole lot. What I can tell you, though, is it's going to be a fun race. Expect the chrome horn to be used. And again, watching these guys go through traffic, Gavin, is going to be really fun because we all know how chaotic this racetrack can be.
Yeah, it sounds like we're about to be down to the track here in a few minutes as we receive our invites to the booth, as we receive the key. We'll be heading to the booth here just shortly as we just got our invites. Kevin, I think one of the most important things when it comes to a track like Bristol, not only managing the cars in front of you, also the ones behind you, and I mean, it's going to be chaotic all over the track.
I'm going to see laps for
so many different situations playing out, and, you know, this is why so many people, you know, IRL have Bristol marked on their calendars to come and watch, because there's action all over the track, and there's never a dull moment here at a track like Bristol. I mean, I've seen it all as a driver, and I know you guys have too. Bristol just tends to bring out some of the best racing, and that's what I love, and I know a lot of people love about this track. And we got a lot of competitive drivers here tonight, a lot of people with speed. So in reality, just like any other race, it's anybody's race. We do have our favorites. But I mean, anyone could take it at the end. It's just you got to play your cards right and hit your marks and play the proper strategy, and that's all it will take. Keep that car clean as you can. Bristol not known for being nice to the race car, especially, but it's going to be pretty exciting here. I believe we have 1 or 2 pace laps here tonight, and it's going to be really fun. Get to see some pretty nice cars out here tonight, and a lot of talent behind the wheel of those cars. On the pole, as Abyss said, will be sideways tonight. I believe he's in the 21, so we will get up to sideways as they rack it up. Kevin, this is going to be pretty exciting. I can feel the tension already starting to rise, and the anxiousness of the drivers hopefully calming down here as we get ready to roll. This is going to be one exciting race here. And Abyss, you got any thoughts, Abyss, on who you think might come home tonight with that checkered flag?
Well, at least it depends on that last stage, I would say, because it depends. You could drive your way up to enough where you might have enough time to not save either the fuel, but you might need to save some fuel. So the favorites aren't used to saving fuel here, so that's pretty much what we're looking at tonight, my friend. So I really don't have anyone looking at. I'm just going to say it's going to be a fun time picking out a winner.
Indeed it will be, as we are now green with OK Sideways getting out to a quick lead from the aerial cam. Right now, T-Glass at 22. He's riding around in second, but don't look now. Super NASCAR fan has already jumped his way up pretty quickly in front of a few cars. He looks to be a hard charger already, as I think I've seen him use the bumper already at least once or twice. And looking back there, the 68, he started almost last. He was pretty far back in the pack. And now he's all the way up to 10th, so he's jumped up about 4 to 5 spots there, and he continues to climb up, Kevin.
Indeed, and again, one thing that's important at this racetrack is the track position, because we know how treacherous going through traffic can be. But you're not necessarily upstream without a paddle, if you will, if you don't have the great track position. If you can get through methodically and clean and not get yourself in trouble, you can definitely gain ground. And again, I talked about there's a few guys that I think I would have favorited, I talked about, that are starting pretty deep in this field. And they're going to have to climb up. Trippy's one of them. He's already moved his way into stage points. And the other thing, too, the other motivation that Trippy has is, again, last week was his first week going, his first full-time racing in the series. He had some points built up from his part-time stuff. But last week was really the first race he had been able to run, and the first time that he had been able to really pick up points. And he's trying to cut off a deficit to the playoffs to try to make this up and make it in. He doesn't have a whole lot of time left, but I tell you right now, he's trying to get these points as much as he possibly can. And the other thing that's helping him is we are missing a few guys out of our top 10 in points right now. So if you're Trippy, that's going to add some extra pep in your step, extra foot on the gas moments, because you know that's more opportunity for you to gain points on your competitors. Abyss?
Oh, sorry. As I'm kind of looking right now, just kind of the top two have just kind of settled out. Top five, I would say, have kind of settled out. And it's kind of a battle between the pack. I did realize that Brodozer kind of got off the pace a little bit, coming off a couple corners ago. Now in the back of the field, kind of trying to find his way forward. As I'm seeing people in the back pretty much hitting the wall, dooring each other. It is not looking pretty here. The question is, the thing is, they have more room than they do at, I would say, Martinsville, so they have a little bit more room to, I'll say, bump and run each other. The question is, it's not going to be how long you're going to take it, but who is going to be the man that's going to push you over the edge and pretty much put you in the wall enough to where you're going to retaliate, Gavin.
Yeah, I hear you there, Abyss. And right now, I've started to notice up towards the front, Sideways has pulled out to a sizable gap, but Super NASCAR fan, like I mentioned before, has some fairly decent speed.
Caution!
Yellow flag's out, and I was just about to mention Legend Johnson is up in the top 5. He's in 4th. So I believe your top 5 running order right now is Sideways 1st, Super NASCAR fan 2nd, 3rd, T-Glass, 4th is Legend Johnson, and 5th is Mark Falks Boog, the man with 1,500 gamer tags. You know him, we all know him. But he is running in 5th in his number 54. And earlier, guys, I noticed Trippy Tricks managed to get his way up into 6th. He was challenging Boog, I believe, for 5th. And Boog got a little bit loose off of the exit of either 2 or 4, and it kind of went downhill for Trippy Tricks as he plowed right into the inside wall and took some nose damage. So that's unfortunate for him, Kevin.
Indeed, well, as we're about to take the green, I would like to point out Asylum, who started in the back. He's already worked his way up inside the top 10. These guys up front did not want to see that. As green flag, back out.
As you're seeing here, the cars in the back not getting a great restart. So they're kind of just a little congested here. They're going 3 wide into turn number 4, as they're going to come out a little bit cleanly as I expected, trying to get back to single file racing, follow each other around the racetrack. As you see, going down into turn 4 as Sideways, I think, is about to lose the lead to Super NASCAR fan. This is a battle right here, boys. Going into turn 1, I think Sideways will take it off of turn 2, Gavin.
Yeah, Sideways is just doing an excellent job of hanging on, and he did get a little bit of help from Boog back there, so he definitely needs to pay some thanks, maybe throw a hand out the window and wave to his good buddy Boog. But don't look now, Trippy Trick started 14th tonight, really far towards the back. He's up to 3rd, and now making a move on 2nd. He throws the car in there and gets Super NASCAR fan to slide up the track. Now can he take the spot away and clear him as they continue to rub?
T-Glass into the inside wall.
As T-Glass wrecks the 94 and the 68, scraping and battling and beating and banging already. Super NASCAR fan catches the wall because of it. And now up towards the lead, you seeing the fact now is that, you know, these guys are coming up on a lap car now, Kevin, and it's T-Glass who's already wrecked, so he has damage, for one, I would assume. And, you know, that's not going to help him, but now he might fall under a lap down, which is also not going to be helpful for him, because that'll just ruin his race, and it'll take him out of the chance for stage points. Especially it would be terrible if someone else got lapped, which, you know, you don't want to see. As it looks like caution's out, it's going to save him. Absolutely.
Now, again, I say we see the track position matter, Gavin. We've seen now 2 cautions. This is our 2nd caution so far. We're going to have probably about 17, 16 laps to go when we go back to green here. There are a lot of fast guys that started at the back. They've worked their way up here. Trippy is not going to be within striking distance of your leader when we go back to green. Asylums is back in 7th. So he's going to be able to shoot his way back up here. There's a few others too that I think could have some speed, but yes, like we said, the person that is the happiest to see that caution is the 22 of T-Glass, because because he got saved from going that lap down, and he can fix that damage without any penalty. So as we head back to green, it's going to be a fun ending to the stage. We'll see if we can keep it green.
Yeah, we would love to see that happen. 15 laps left to go. I've realized a few of those guys like T-Glass and Boog have kind of had really loose race cars. They might be cranking that wedge up as Sideways there is really, really aggressive to hold on to that lead, and Super NASCAR Fan has kind of been used up. Super gets put in the wall there by the 21. That causes a big stack up. Let's see if they can hold it, as it looks like it's going to be close. They're 3 wide back there. The lanes are clogged. Kevin, this is chaotic towards the back of the pack, and it all starts up in the front. When a couple cars, miss their mark, they check up the field, and it's just an accordion effect that you'll see throughout the field. But right now, Trippy Tricks up in front with Sideways trailing behind him, and Legend Johnson third. The 9 of Toasted Gamers is in fourth, and the 89, I believe that's Air Just Cuz, is in fourth. Or fifth. No, that's Brodozer in fifth. My fault. Pardon me, Kevin.
No, indeed. And the one thing we've talked about here, maybe we haven't talked about it as much as we should, but these guys are really in a situation where everybody's so close together. You see that with this pack. Well, the thing is, you carry so much speed into these corners and through these corners, and you're so close to one another that you don't have a lot of room for error. And a lot of times, it's not too uncommon to lose the nose on the entry or in the center, or get loose coming off. And when that happens, you have so many other guys around you. I'm not surprised. We've seen a little bit of RG here throughout this race so far. We've seen guys get up in the wall. We've seen guys get turned around. And that's not surprising to me. However, what that can lead to, depending on your driving, because I have seen some aggressive driving, which you get that at short tracks like this, is tempers begin to flare. And as this race continues on, that may only intensify, and that could lead to some much more interesting interactions on this racetrack, Evan.
Yeah, as we're just under 10 laps to go. I believe we're coming down the wire right here. 7 laps to go from our lap counter, currently in the lead. He's pulled out to a decent sized lead. We noted the speed of the 68. It's just we're waiting for the other heavy hitter that we have circled for this race, just like we did last night. Asylums, who is in the top 5 now. He's just got to maneuver through a few more cars, and we might see him tear it up here in a few. But back up front, Trippy Tricks really running the show, and we only got 6 laps left at this point, so coming down to the wire. And like we said before, Kevin, Trippy Tricks has an extreme points gap that he has to overcome, and winning this stage is definitely going to help him. And especially with another heavy hitter like Asylums, who you'd expect to be up front, being held up by some cars like Legend Johnson and Toasted back there, and then he's got Sideways in second. That's really going to help Trippy Tricks be able to coast his way to these 10 points that he ever so needs. And as now we roll down, I believe 4 laps remaining in the stage, Trippy Tricks continues to lead. Actually, 3 laps to go, pardon me, Kevin.
Indeed, and I tell you what, Trippy right now is actually Salem's biggest cheerleader until he gets to second place. Now after that, he doesn't want to move up any further. But if Asylums gets around these guys, which he's looking to do right now, and you see, I think he's getting impatient, and it's understandable. I've seen him get chopped off a couple of times by some guys. A lot of aggressive blocking and driving up here by some of these guys inside the top 5. And I think he's getting frustrated with that, but if he can get these guys, that's going to allow Trippy to gain an extra point.
Yeah, Kevin, white flag is out, so now we got Trippy Tricks continuing to lead here. He's going to take it through 3 and 4. He's got such a lead, he can keep it just cool, calm, and collected. He'll coast it to the stage win. Those needed 10 points from Trippy Tricks, he will get them. Sideways will finish second. I believe third, Toasted Gamers. Fourth, Legend Johnson. Fifth, fourth is Brodozer. Fifth is Brodozer. Sixth is Casey. I can't see. Seventh is Fungus. Eighth, Sean. Ninth, M. Wright. And 10th is Alex. So a lot of guys getting good points. Sean for Life, someone I've been impressed with here recently, as well as Fungus. They're picking up those extra stage points that they need, and they're really making cases they're really making cases here, Kevin, to possibly move up. These guys have really shown a lot of speed, and these two guys especially, I can vouch for Sean for life. He is really, really good and really, really fast, and he's been able to show that at every track, Kevin. We go green.
Indeed. I tell you what, though, the one thing we did notice with this caution, tempers are definitely getting raised up over the radio. So it's going to be a very interesting stage. We'll see how much more of this blocking and really aggressive type driving some of these guys continue to take.
Well, Kevin, if you want to know how aggressive these drivers are being, it's 3 wide for 4th just about a lap ago, and not something you want to see at Bristol. There's not enough room on the track for 3 cars unless you hold your line perfect, and we know that nobody is perfect, so you would not want to see a 3 wide happen, as it looks like a car getting loose on the bottom. It looks like the 93, if I'm not mistaken. Back up front, though, Trippy Tricks continues to lead. I believe Abyss, you are back. And look at this battle for the lead right now. Trippy Tricks under fire from Toasted Gamers. We'll see if it amounts to anything of this.
Yes, as I'm seeing this battle, sorry guys, I was doing a little bit thing in my own place now, but where it's all fixed now. As it looks like Toasted and Trippy are almost, I would say, equal. The difference is just pretty much place and where they are on the track is first and second. They're on the exact same line. I would say Trippy has a better run off, as Toast has a better entry more into the corners right now. That's where we're looking at, as they're kind of pulling away from the former leader, and I believe stage 1 winner of OK Sideways coming at a turn for
Trippy.
Kevin.
Trippy won stage 1, but I gotta ask though, Gavin, and you're a little bit more experienced in this category, especially with the custom setups than either of us are. But if you're Toasted here, as you see him and Trippy kind of start, like the Abyss said, kind of start to distance themselves, but they're pretty close to one another. If you're Toasted, though, the way this racetrack drives, how do you get around that 68?
Well, Kevin, I know I like to run around the middle of the track, which isn't really the preferred line. If I'm Toasted, you got to try to figure out how you're going to get a run off this corner to get to the inside of Trippy Tricks in the middle of the straightaway. And right now, Toasted just doesn't have that run off the corner that he needs. He has a really good entry, and I think that'll really help him when he finds that run off the corner that would really jump him underneath the 68. And, really, I think the exit does overweigh the entry 100%. But, Toasted has to figure out how he's going to get a better exit than our leader right now. But until then, Toasted's going to remain in second, Kevin.
Indeed, but you look behind Toasted, and you can't be trying anything too crazy, because if you look just a couple car lengths back, he's got a lot of guys on his tail as well. He can't afford a mistake, because if you get out of line, get out of shape, you will lose spots here. It's not exactly the same as Daytona or anything like that. You can fight, but you want to hold this outside line. It's the fastest way around. It's the preferred groove. You lose that, you get guys on the outside of you, you're going to really have to work for that spot, which is only going to allow the leader to pull away. So you got to be careful about that as well. He's going to have to be really smart if he has any shot at making a pass on the 68 for the stage win here. Abyss?
Well, right now, which I think some people are getting, there are, I would say, almost 3 lanes. It's just that high line that pretty much everyone's using is the preferred line. You can make a pass using that bottom line, but you must be sure that you can pass him, or it's just not going to work coming off the corner and onto the straightaway, because that guy on the outside will have such a run. It's almost like, I would say, Kansas Speedway, just in a very smaller way. Just pretty much getting that run off the high line really helps you. But the difference is that bottom line is very dangerous when it comes to passing. That is the pretty much everyone plan. It's how am I going to use the track to my advantage? And I think if you put your setup more towards the bottom, you are going to succeed picking passes during the long run than just right now just following the leader, Gavin.
Yeah, that's very true, and maybe if we see this run go a fairly decent distance without a yellow flag, we might be able to see these long run cars come in, and maybe that's what Toasted has built for us tonight. He has maybe tuned up a longer run car than Trippy Tricks, but you know just as well as I do, Trippy Tricks does come prepared every single race, and he's definitely got a good piece under him right now, and we'll have to see, because just like Martinsville, just like Martinsville, this is a track you've got to maneuver lap cars, as we see one up in turn 3 and 4 right now. And you also got to be able to keep a car pretty stable, and I think stability means just as much as speed here, as now we see Asylum's moving up in the third. Let's see what he can do, as he has taken a while to get up to third, but he's here now. He's got the track position he wants. He's got to attack. He's sitting back there in third. He's got to attack and get his way up towards the front. But like I said earlier, you know, if you have a car that's comfortable and you can keep it and it's not loose, really loose, where you're wrecking it off at corner exit, which is the most important part of the turns here at Bristol, you know, you can really do a lot. I mean, if the guy in front of you is getting loose, let's say Trippy Tricks has a short run car, his car starts getting loose towards the long run, Toasted's doesn't. That's going to be a huge advantage for Toasted and vice versa. I mean, it's really just a battle to see who has the long run car right now. And Kevin, you know just as well as I do, that could be a life or death situation, as well as lap traffic and all your other things that you have to keep in your mind as a driver. Kevin?
Absolutely, but the one thing I'm noticing actually is a slight difference in lines, and it's a small difference, but it could come into play later in this run. As I saw coming off the corner a couple of laps ago, Toasted also has a big moment. I was about to say Trippy had a bit of a moment. Toasted did coming off the corner there as well. Had to kind of catch the car a little bit. This could shape out to be a battle here soon, but I'm seeing Toasted kind of drive it in deeper into the corner and then slide up off, whereas Trippy kind of stays a little bit higher and then actually turns down off the corner. So it's interesting to watch just the small differences in these drivers' lines, but it could turn out to pay large and huge dividends at the end of this run, maybe on handling or whatever, as Toasted knocking on this door.
Yes,
sorry.
indeed.
Wrong car.
Yes, indeed, Sir Asylum is very much knocking on the door of Toasted right now, as Toasted continues to get looser and looser as this run keeps going, as Asylum has a peak on that outside and will take second spot away from Toasted. Now Toasted under fire against Brodozer in the 89. Right now Toasted is on fire from multiple people, but now Asylum has to set his sights on Trippy Tricks in the first position. The question is, can anyone catch him? Because right now he's on an island to himself. The next car is Asylum's and it's Toasted. Then it is Brodozer. I'm not sure the car behind him. I think that's actually OK Sideways right now. That is your top 5, Captain.
Yeah, and a very strong top 5 it is, but Trippy Tricks really has dominated ever since he's gotten up to the front. He hasn't looked back, and I don't think he plans on it, guys. I mean, he's really just got that speed, and here we see Asylums. He's running a different line, too. He's kind of using the middle now and sliding up like Kevin said earlier, but you know, Kevin, back to what you said with just the smallest difference in a line can really pull the difference. Notice how Toasted was really diving it in super deep when him and Asylums were right there neck and neck. Notice how far away that Trippy Tricks is from Toasted now. I mean, that just proves to you the point that Kevin made earlier, that just a little bit of a line difference can really play a pivotal factor, as now we see lap cars coming into play, as it looks like Trippy Tricks is going to be able to cut through them pretty easily. Kevin?
Indeed, and as Trippy catches these lap cars, obviously, again, I go back to, you have to kind of be careful who you catch as he hits 7 laps to go in stage 2. He also knows who's behind him. Asylum's in the 60, sorry. I'm thinking of wrong series. In the 60 tonight, but he's also got to work his way through these lap cars. So the other thing now that he's got to be paying attention to is he's got to get through these lap cars as smooth as possible without mistakes. And this is one of those tracks where it's hard to maneuver lap traffic because there's not a whole lot of space to go, and the closing rates oftentimes are very fast. It's a very complicated situation. It can be very intense at times as we hit 5 laps to go for your leader's abyss, and they have to know that and be careful, and you see the differences now being made up between first and second through the lap cars.
Well, as I'm watching Asylum right now, he's having a very hard time getting through this lap traffic. It doesn't seem like they really want to work with him as much as they worked with Trippy, so that's pretty much right now the frustration on the 60 card there. Now knowing what he has to do pretty much to guarantee, might have to move some people out of the way, but I believe I'm not wrong, he actually got passed by Toasted because of the lap traffic. Well, costing him one position as Trippy pretty much goes on to win stage 2 as if nothing else happens. Gavin.
2 laps left in this stage, and just like you said, Abyss, you know, that lap traffic really wasn't looking to help the Master, the Wiener Man. Didn't want to help him out there, and 2 cars wrecked. The 7 is actually up on one wheel as the rest of him is on the pit wall. 1 lap left to go. The 92 wrecked as well. He's going to play a factor with the 9 and the 60 behind him as well. And here comes Trippy Tricks, though. He's on the backstretch. 3 wide right now with the lap car. Legend Johnson gets doored by the 9. It's a heated battle for second. But Trippy Tricks is going to take it off of turn 4 turn 2 with ease. Here we go. Is a stage of turn 4, my fault.
Wrong corner.
Gracious, I'm losing my mind out here.
Though.
He corrected himself.
I couldn't see the start-finish line, but you know, a point I wanted to make before I got a little confused was that I noticed via Asylum's radio communications here around stage 2's beginning, tempers were already high, and then with the help of whatever happened with those lap cars, I can tell you it shot up even higher. So we'll see what happens there, and I can already tell you from racing with Legend Johnson, he's not going to be happy with the 7, and whatever happened, whoever's fault it was, those 2 guys will not be happy around each other, so that might be something to watch here later, Kevin.
Absolutely. Now, the one thing I want to point out is we now head into stage 3. This should be a 51 lap stage, and they get, or sorry, actually I think it's a little bit over that, but I know they get about 50 to 51 on fuel, and about a 60 lap stage. So there's going to be some fuel saving that goes into this, and this is where I talk about, you could see this race kind of get flipped over a little bit of this. 62 laps to go, my fault.
Well, yes, as we go to 60 to go, the restart is here. The battle is up front, Toasted versus Trippy. Toasted has the advantage of using that outside line, but will Trippy clear him on that inside line? Here, I think Toasted might have it coming to turn 4. Yes, he will with a little shot from Asylum. I think more of his move, so I can get to that position later. But here comes Trippy on the inside, as they continue to battle for this top spot, Gavin.
Oh,
yeah, the battle really heating up here. The 60 though, he's just looking to see what he can do with these 2 cars in front of him, battling hard for the lead. All 3 of these guys up here, though, are pretty good buddies. We'll see if that has anything to do with how they race each other, but I figured not, as we heard a little funny thing from Asylums there. But the top 3 right now, Toasted, Trippy Tricks, and Asylums, all 3 of them really been up front since they've gotten here, so it's been a while.
Caution, fuel saving is out the window.
Oh, and it's a 61 around. I'm not sure who else was involved.
Material,
and right
I believe,
before that caution came out. Right before that caution came out, though, I was going to make a comment about how
Legend Johnson has a little bit of damage.
Only a few guys would have been able to make it the distance. I believe it was around, what, 10 or so laps. So now everybody, virtually, if they have a fairly decent save gear, can make it. So we'll see. We'll see what type of race we get now, as a lot of different factors can play into your race, just like a caution, fuel saving, tire saving, wrecks you can't control. We've seen it all already tonight, and all of it can play a factor. Brodozer moves up into the 3rd podium spot, and Trippy Tricks gets that advantage on the high side as we go green, Kevin.
Indeed, green flag, 55 laps to go at Bristol, under the lights, 4 laps short on fuel for most of these guys. This is definitely a fuel saver now, unless we get another caution. If we get another caution, it will take that factor out of the game. But if not, this is going to come down to fuel saving, Abyss. They're going to have to save about 3-4 laps of fuel. Very much doable at this racetrack. Me and you both have seen races where this has come into play many times before.
Well, yeah, it's pretty much just on, like, I would say, instinct alone, as the cars in the back are not racing what I would say with the nicest of intentions right now. I'm just feeling a little bit of a hatred in the back right now. Not much love in the back, as Legend being put into the wall by Olympic T-Glass back there. But as I keep my eye on the front, it's pretty much who can lay off the throttle more to save that fuel better, pretty much, because you don't need to put it into a gear at this point anymore. It's just let off, let the car do its thing, let it run at its own speed through the corners, and then just kind of throttle off slowly off the corner, and that's pretty much how you're going to save fuel here, Gavin.
Yeah, I mean, at short tracks, you can easily save fuel just letting the car do it for itself. But at a track like this, you're on the throttle a fairly decent amount, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult than what you would see at Martinsville, where your off-throttle time is a little bit longer than it is at Bristol. As you know, these guys roll the corner a little less than they do at Martinsville, with the corners being so sharp there. But up front, Trippy Trixie starting to pull away. Fuel saving still a factor, so we got to keep that in the back of our heads here, as on board with the Circle B Diecast number 9 of Toasted Gamers. Shout out to Circle B Diecast. And now under attack from Asylums.
Oh,
yeah, Toasted gets put in the wall there.
Toasted makes more
We're hooking it.
No
Calamity
caution.
right there behind Toasted. Kevin, you take it from here.
that was interesting. We'll see what happens there, but I tell you what. First of all,
And
the
a caution is out. And that's
Fuel saving is
NASCAR
out the window.
Super just wrecked. I'm not sure who else was involved.
Yeah, heavy nose damage to that 94 Sunoco Super there. That's going to be unfortunate for Super. Really had a really good run in stage 1, and it's kind of just fallen apart from there. We haven't heard much from Super NASCAR fan as of recent. Glad to have him on the track, though. We know he has a tight schedule almost all the time, so whenever we can get him on the track, we're glad to have him. But unfortunately there, that Sunoco Supra is going to have a lot of nose damage. That pit crew is going to be proving their worth, to say, down pit road, Abyss.
Hey, Gavin, I just got a question for you. Kevin and Gavin, I got a question for both of you. Asylums and Trippy have not had a restart together, and never mind, they're not this time at all. So I was gonna say the question is, what's gonna be fun?
No,
as
they'll
it
be
looks like
behind
they're gonna
each
go restarting here with, I believe, around 40 to go or somewhere around there. 43 to go. I was close. Hey, I'm back to my guessing ways.
Lucky number 43.
As now looks like Toasted trying to challenge on that outside line going into turn 3. Looks like Trippy's gonna put him in the wall though. And now Trippy up into the lead, and here comes Asylums trying to follow Trippy, but not gonna work, as Toasted keeps using the advantage of that high line. Asylums pushes it in there and is still trying to find a way, as we're just seeing all this fun action happen, Kevin.
Indeed, you see Asylum's really trying to get up to this outside. He can't get up there. He's trying so hard. He knows he needs to get up there, and he just can't, because the momentum, every time he thinks he's almost got an opening, one of these guys comes back with the momentum on the outside. Now he starts to fall, actually lose a little bit of ground to this outside line. He's got to get back up here. I see he'll be able to do that, but I see it.
Wreck in
He'll be able to do that.
wreck in the backfield. Another wreck caution will count. I'm not sure who
You know,
was part of that.
Abyss, I saw Legend Johnson and Fungus die again there. I mean, I don't know if that's something brewing. I don't know if that's something brewing between them, but that JRM number 7 is looking terrible, as it has accrued a lot of body damage. And I'm going to see if I can flip to Legend Johnson here, who I saw hit the inside wall. He doesn't look like he's doing as bad. Maybe he saved it, but that number 7 definitely got the short end of the stick, to say the least. Idyllic Fungus making his first start back here with us. I know he's new to RHRL, but with us in general, to everyone in this league, this is his first time back in a while in custom setup racing, and we're glad to have Fungus back. Want to give a quick shout out to Fungus for showing up tonight. And Legend Johnson doing what he does best, shaking it up.
Here we go. We'll be Toasted and Legend Johnson starting this restart up front. And here we go, as it puts Asylums and Trippy on the second row. This is going to be a fantastic start. Oh my goodness. Looks like Asylums did not have a good restart, but neither did Legend Johnson, taking 2 tires. Will slide up, never mind. Asylums is not taking any more from the radio. It does not sound like he's having a fun race right now, as he now has to gain all that time on the front 2 now, Gavin.
Yeah, but we know that Asylums is really good at doing that. He can really cut through pack like it's nothing. He makes it look easy, even though it's not. And Asylum really is the type of guy who can do what it takes to get up front. He's managed to do that now. He's got some clean air ahead of him.
All he's got
to worry about now is the 60, the 68, and the 9 right up in front of him, and they're battling pretty hard. So he might have a chance here to get up with them. But right now, the 9 and the 68 continuing to trade shots at each other, kind of. I mean, the 68 will get right up in there to the bumper of the 9.
Field and wrecks the field. That did not look pretty.
I tell you what, man, this Legend has been in several incidents tonight. I don't know what's going on there, but gee, I hope he gets this cleaned up, because this is not looking good for him as a race overall. I really hope he can get this sorted out. That's the second caution, at least in a row, he's been involved in. I believe it's the third or fourth this evening. So hopefully he can get this sorted out.
Yeah, Kevin, I mean, he might be involved in some, but not every accident, I would say, has been his fault. I mean, I know he can make some questionable decisions, but I didn't get the glimpse of that one. I know Abyss was hot on the streak of finding what happened there, so maybe Abyss, if you've got a good glimpse of that, could you enlighten us on what happened there?
It just looks like Legend Johnson got loose with those tires and just came right back in front of the field, and the field was not ready for it as we go back to green, as it will be toasted and actually, no, that's not toasted.
John for life.
That's John for life in the 7, challenging Trippy on the outside. Will he have enough to maybe guarantee him shot as a win? But no. Looks like Asylum's trying to make it 3 wide coming up turn 4. No. Put his nose as Sean puts Asylum's in the wall. My goodness, Asylum's having a rough night here at Bristol, Gavin.
Yeah, it just looked like the 07 kind of got hooked there, as you'll see. Asylum just put the 07 in the wall.
Because of
Big
it.
wreck behind him. T-Glass, everybody's involved. The big one strikes here at Bristol. Not something you want to see. Tempers flaring equals madness and chaos. A lot of sheet metal flying all over the place. That was absolutely terrible what just happened there. I mean, a lot of cars wrecking. And unfortunately, staying out, the 07 will lose a lot of spots doing that, and maybe make a few drivers mad. The 07, what it looked like from my screen though, Kevin, is that the 07 was getting hooked a little bit of contact made, and the 07 got hooked up into the wall, and that really frustrated Asylums, and he took his frustrations out by using the car. And you know just as well as I do, when a driver uses the car as a weapon of mass destruction, things like that can happen. Abyss, how are we gonna, what was the question from earlier, because now you get to ask.
Oh, well, never mind. I was gonna say, what is Asylum gonna do when he gets to Trippy? But now they're side by side on this restart, going into turn 1, coming up at turn 4. As for the first time tonight, Asylum's on point and finally takes the lead. Coming up at turn 4, he will lead the first laps he has ever led this night at Bristol, Kevin.
Indeed, Trippy though trying to fight back. Can he get there? He peaks low, can't quite get there. He's going to keep searching around, and now peaks high, can't get there. He's going to search, and this is really going to be what you're going to have to watch now as this race begins to wind down. And of course, cautions also could play a factor into this if we don't go green all the way to the end. But right now, Asylum finally gets up towards the front after having a really up and down night. He's definitely been through his fair share of incidents, not all his own doing. Actually, most not his own doing, but either way, he's going to have to fight for this, though, because the 68 wants this win bad, and I tell you what, he has a lot of speed, Gavin.
Yeah, the 68 hasn't been dominating all race for nothing, obviously, and the 60, though, as soon as he gets up to the point, you know he's going to fight tooth and nail, and it's been a long way coming for the 60 to finally make his way up here. But like I mentioned before, we didn't hear from Super a lot. Super sitting in 4th right now, so he's back up in the top 5. And our pole sitter, the 21 of Sideways, he rounds out your top 5 with Toasted in 3rd and Trippy Trick 2nd. And Asylum's right up here in front, leading the race. You know, he finally gets that clean air he wanted so badly, and after all the trials and tribulations that he has faced tonight, I can only imagine the sigh of relief coming from the cockpit of that number 60 Ford Mustang, Abyss.
As
I tell you what, though, look behind him. Man, Trippy is poking that nose out every place he can find, trying to find something, Abyss.
Oh, as I'm looking either further behind, as I saw the 21 of Sideways put I would say the 94 of, let me try and say the name here, of Super NASCAR fan into the wall. I thought that was going to be another incident, but it kind of worked itself out. Tempers are flying all over Bristol. I don't know who's more hot on the mic at the moment. It's just kind of going everywhere. I think these are all gladiators trying to figure out where the prize is. But right now the gladiator winning the prize is Asylum. Close behind is Trippy and Toasted, just kind of waiting for Asylum to mess up or get into some lap traffic to slow him up, because, you know, they have not been his friend all day long, Gavin.
Yeah, and Vinny's going to have to channel his inner Viper. He's going to have to strike here sometime if he wants this win. And he's going to have to strike at some point, and we'll see how he does it. You know he's going to try to do it in the cleanest way possible. He's tired of riding around second to Asylums. And you know just as well as I do, Trippy Trick's really looking for a custom setup win, and it would really, really help him if he could get it here in the Xfinity Series, as the 13 is sitting in the inside there. As Trippy Tricks kind of peaks low, Kevin, like you were talking about before. Trippy Tricks
right
trying
here
to find something. Can he find what he has been looking for the past 15 laps, it feels like, as he really gets a good entry into that corner. He's right on the tail of the 60 with the 9 trailing just a little bit behind him. Enough space for these two guys to do their battling, and the 60 apparently has some nose damage, so that'll also play a factor. He'll be a little bit tighter than the car behind him. It's just a matter of what can Trippy Tricks do to somehow move the 60 out of the way, or make the 60 make a mistake, Kevin, to win this race.
Well, keep in mind, too, if these guys get battling, the 9 is kind of caught back up as well. If these two get racing each other, the 9 is not out of the conversation for this win either. I definitely see this race getting pretty interesting before this thing's over, Abyss.
Oh yes, as I'm seeing this, if we keep going like this, I think we might see a green-white checker, but we're finally seeing a little bit of a green stretch. Hopefully we can go all the way. I think we're inside 10 to go. I think we're 7 to go. I could be wrong. We're coming to 5 to go at the line. 5 more laps until we decide a winner. Right now, the top 3 are all in the mix. I don't know what's going to happen, but I don't think, there should most likely be a door thrown into the mix at some point of this final 4-lap stretch, Gavin.
Well, I would say, Abyss, definitely the bumper should come into play here. I know I would use it, especially if you're Trippy Tricks. You got to get those points any way possible, and that win would especially feel really great going into next
He's
or 2
taking
weekends
a
from
look.
now. I believe we're taking off. He gets up in there, kind of taps the wall a little bit, but he's not out of it yet. He's got plenty of time left. These short tracks, they feel like they go by so fast, Kevin, but he has such a fast piece. I believe Trippy Tricks ain't out of it yet. Toasted Gamers, I would even say, not out of it yet. 2 laps to go, Kevin.
He's going to have to make some sort of really hard charge here. He recovered well from his mistake, but he doesn't have a whole lot of time. He's got about a lap and a half, and that's going to go by within a minute. So Trippy's going to have to get up on it right now, Abyss.
Well, right now, if I'm not wrong, he will be seeing the white flag this time by. Next time around, they will be seeing a checkered flag. Here they go into turn number 3. What will Trippy do? It doesn't look like it's going to be enough. Asylums comes out of turn 4 and will win at Bristol.
And Trippy
You know,
again
Asylums
comes up with second place.
You know, if they handed out trophies for second place, I mean, Trippy would have a full trophy room, I would assume. I mean, he just always is right there at the end, and unfortunately just 1 lap shy of possibly winning that race. I do believe, though, Brodozer might have stolen 3rd from our 3rd place, number 9, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, never mind, I was wrong. But, you know, Asylums this weekend, 2 out of 3 races. Can he capitalize and sweep the weekend tomorrow when we head out to Martinsville in the Cup Series? It's going to be one heck of a show to see, as Asylums has shown. He is really the short track master or the short track master, to have a play on words here tonight, as he has really done an extraordinary job running these short tracks. And that's no knock at Trippy Tricks. He's been running up there all weekend as well. I don't think he's ever fallen out of the top 5 all weekend long. So he's been doing really good too. I mean, these two guys really showing that they are the class of the field at short tracks, guys.
Indeed, and you look at Asylums, by the way, too. He pulled the last, basically last to first challenge as well. Started deep in the field, worked his way up through. Actually, neither one of our top 2 started inside the top 10, so both did a really good job. And to be honest, Trippy had such a fast car, it seemed. And I know Asylums kind of had some troubles, but it really seemed like once he got the lead from sideways, he was gone. But he also knew that you had the 9 of Toasted, and you had the 60 of Asylums. Both of them were going to be contenders, and of course they were. And you saw the racing at the end, and of course they all come home with deserving top 3 podium finishes. So we'll hear from them momentarily. Let's see, who got 3rd last night? I think it was Abyss.
Me.
So let's push it up forward.
Kevin, you get the winner. I get 3rd. Abyss gets 2nd. Yep. You get the winner.
Here we go.
So I get the truck car champion, Toasted Gamers. Do you got a copy, Toasted?
Yes, I do.
First off, I just want to say congratulations on your top 3 finish. Also want to point a little plug here. You had a really pretty scheme. I don't know. It looks kind of familiar to me. Kevin, you know what it is. It's
yeah.
Circle B Diecast. It's our sponsor. So it's a really pretty scheme on that number 9. Is that maybe, Toasted, what helped you, get a little bit of extra horsepower under the hood, as you were really, really fast tonight and really managing your car very, very well. I just want to ask, how did you manage to put up such a strong fight there for the lead, with Trippy Tricks and Asylums being arguably the favorites here tonight?
Well, I kind of knew going into the race that I would probably be around a 3rd place car. Obviously, I wanted to be up front, and somehow a lot of the pit stops I got lucky into getting the 2nd place. I don't know how that happened, but I got very lucky under the pits all the time. But yeah, I would watch their line and just kind of observe how they were driving the track, since they are the best at it. And going up through the field with them at the very start was also pretty fun and very chaotic, but very fun as well.
Well, Toasted, I mean, you did one heck of a job here to finish in the top 3. I do want to say you looked great out there. Is there anybody you want to give a shout out to? I'll take Kevin's question from him. I'm stealing from you, Kevin. How do you feel about that?
I'm following
Is there any Is there any shout outs, Toasted, that you would like to give here tonight?
Well, first off, I would like to thank the number 9 Circle B Diecast Truck Xfinity Cup car team. They did great all weekend in preparing that car, and it was great when we got here today. Thanks to Casey and Trippy for racing me clean all night. I appreciate that, even when I was way slower than y'all. And thanks to all the admins for putting this all together, and thanks to you guys for broadcasting. Y'all did awesome as always.
We appreciate that up in the booth. You guys got anything for the truck car Cup Man Toasted Gamers?
I do.
It's a lot of teams.
I'll ask first, Toasted. I'm kind of sad to hear you didn't shout out your nightlife, but
yeah. Hold up, sorry. I'd also like to thank my Pablo from Backyardigans Nightlife. He's helped me through a lot of hard times in my life, and when I have nightmares, he's always there to comfort me. And he really helps me with my fright of the dark. And so I appreciate him. I just really appreciate Pablo for that. He is the best singer in all the Backyardigans. I would play his music right now, but I think I would get copyright struck, and
yeah,
I don't want to get that.
Please don't do that. But also, I also have to say too, I'm sure your sister will be happy knowing that two of her favorite drivers got 2nd and 3rd place tonight as well. I'm sure we'll hear Trippy talk about that momentarily. But all in all seriousness, Toasted, we saw you fighting so hard up front. It was really, after stage 1, it was really a show between you, the 60, and the 68, and it kind of came down. We saw a few other factors in there, but what do you think you needed out of that car to to get these guys and put yourself in victory lane?
Well, I just think I needed a bit of luck with those restarts there, because starting P3 on that, I think that final one definitely made that task a lot harder, and also a bit more speed, really. But they're honestly, this has always been a general consensus, but they're just so good at Bristol. That's how I learned from them how to you really drive the place, and how they did everything. So they've helped me out a lot, and I'm still not as good as them, but hopefully one day, maybe one day I'll be able to contend up there a little bit better. But yeah, that was really fun battling with them and all those little bumps and hits we had.
And I'm sure you'll do the same thing tomorrow night with again that backyard against Nightlight right by your side. Abyss, do you have any questions for Toasted before you take our second place finisher of Trippy Tricks?
I'm good. I'm good.
All right. Well, congrats Toasted on the podium.
Love you, Pablo.
And yeah, shout out to Pablo from Backyardigans, always keeping Toasted asleep at night instead of. Never mind, I'm not gonna finish that sentence. Moving on. Abyss, you have our second place finisher, Trippy Tricks.
Moving on to other business, Mr. Trippy, you got copy, my friend.
Yep.
Well, man, you had a fast car all day long. It just seems like that last restart didn't work in your favor, starting on the inside line. Talk us through that last restart.
I mean, nothing much I could have done. I knew the time and place had to come for Casey. I got lucky all race that he was struggling, and I got to show what I really had the entire race, one of the first two stages, and we posted the fastest lap by a tenth. I mean, it proves what I had actually brought this week, and I thought, this race definitely felt like it was the one, but I knew as soon as Casey got in front of me, it was going to be way too tough for me to try to battle back. I was faster than him because he had nose damage, but the last couple laps counting down, I don't know. I didn't have anything. I didn't want to full throttle him into turn 3 and make myself look like an ASS and, get an undeserving win. So I think I should have won, but I mean, I don't know. Second place is great, especially with not a lot of people here for points. Getting 55 points, being 76 out is it's very crucial to me. But it's demoralizing, and it's disappointing that we couldn't finish off the job tonight.
I would say, were you thinking about using the bump and run, even though you're the man that beat you was having such a hard and I would say angry race? We're going to call it there. Did you think ever using the bumper, or the famously what's known around this community as the Buttafuoco door?
All right, well, relax with that. But if I was closer, I guess I would have bumped him. But it was the same situation I lost at O'Hare. It was, in my opinion, I was too far away to try to make a clean move at the win. So it's nothing I could have done better.
Is there, steal this one from Kevin as well. Is there any shout-outs or anyone you'd like to thank for your second place tonight?
Yeah, I'd like to shout out the booth, the admins for putting this on, Casey, because I obviously have to. We race each other like hell, and we're best friends. And I think we're honestly the best that does it right now. Shout out to Little Shep and my wife Ellie. Shep was cheering me on in third place of the last couple laps, and I saw Ellie in turn 4 watching. I'm happy they got to see me lead a lot of the race, but it wasn't enough. Shout out to Circle B. It's a great sponsor to have, and I don't really know if I have anybody else to shout out.
Well, Kevin or Gavin, do you have any final questions?
No, I do not.
I think I'm good. I just want to say Trippy, congrats. I know second place kind of gets old, but as you said last night, eventually you keep putting these things together like this. Eventually one will fall your way. I know it probably doesn't seem like that because it just seems like nothing goes your way. But look on the bright side. At least your internet didn't fail you this time around.
Yeah,
And you
I
definitely.
was expecting that last night too at Martinsville. The last night was probably the first time I've finished a Martinsville race without my game freezing. But nothing much I probably could have done more tonight. We had a bad fast car. We were 10th fast in the field. I'm not trying to brag about it, but I'm just stating what happened. And it's like playing goldfish right now. I have 25 cards that all have 2s on them. One of them has to turn out to be a 1. So we'll see what we can do next week.
Yes, sir. And next week, pretty good track for you as well, Auto Club. So good luck next weekend. Obviously, I don't believe you'll be in the Cup field tomorrow.
Nope.
So good luck next weekend, and look forward to talking to you then.
Hopefully. Thank you.
Yes, sir. And now, fellas, I have our race wiener. I'm doing it again. I'm stealing Gavin's thing this time. That's what you get.
Boo.
But anyway, Asylums, do you have a copy, sir?
I do, my good buddy. What's up?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you, Mr. Winner? Obviously, you gotta win. Gotta win. I know you said last night in your truck race interview you won Martinsville last night. First of all, trying to go for the sweep through the weekend. You're 2 out of 3 right now, but you said you really had this one on your hit list for the weekend. The race I don't think went exactly how you intended it to, but ultimately you checked off that box. Walk us through your race.
Well, I mean, it was what was to be expected the first 2 stages, Phil didn't make it easy for me to get up through there, that was for sure, They were beating and banging into me a little bit, that's what comes with the track, It was just, try to stay calm, stay patient. We did the best we could with that until, certain somebody kind of got us flared up a little bit, and he got a little bit of a bumper, but that's besides the point. But yeah, it was just about getting track position. I could never really get to, my high lane on the restarts, The one chance I had, we saw it, Abyss commented on it, he's like, oh, we get to see them start side by side, and no, what happened? I lose the position, fall back to third. I mean, but once we got that second play, once we got there to second, I saw we had nose damage on the car, and I'm kind of, I don't know, I kind of know what that's from, but I didn't have it, I didn't think. If I was repaired, if I did have it. But that nose damage was not fun. It was definitely a little bit more tighter than I would want it to be for that last little run there. But, we were able to hold off on the best, here tonight, I honestly feel bad for Vinny. Vinny needs to win one of these, man, but he's right there. He's right there.
Oh, I wholeheartedly agree,
If I was first on that and he was second, I believe he would have won that race. And that's me being completely honest. I don't think I had much for him if he got in front of me.
Interesting take. It's interesting to think about, too. And I will say, the restarts here at this racetrack really seem to kind of dictate how the run was going to go for you. You got stuck on the bottom, and unless you got lucky and found a hole, you were kind of a sitting duck for a little while. If you got up on that outside, got lucky enough, the game or your pit crew gave you a spot or whatever, or you just got up on the outside, it really did seem like you would launch off a little bit better and have a little bit better run. But excuse me, as we set up for tomorrow night as well, you're trying to go for this old sweep. You got the big one off your hit list, but you're still looking for that first Cup win. How do you feel about your chances tomorrow night at Martinsville to sweep the weekend?
Well, I mean, it looks like I have a lucky horseshoe right now, running around with me. I mean, we've been winning races a little bit this weekend. I mean, it's going to be all about track position tomorrow, really, It's going to be like this track. This track was very hard to pass, as you guys could have saw. I mean, you had to wait for mistakes, I think we start pretty good tomorrow, so I plan to try to keep that number 6 number 6 Oscar Mayer Ford up front tomorrow.
Yes, sir. We definitely look forward to watching that and seeing if you can do it. I will say, again, you have broken the trend. You are now the only multi-time Xfinity Series winner, so you have not only broken the trucks 5 winners streak and making yourself the first repeat, you've also done it in Xfinity, so that seems to be the pattern for you. So maybe you can break another trend tomorrow night and get your first Cup win. But do you have any shout outs to Salms? Obviously, you're in the victory lane again with the ketchup and mustard. It has followed you to Bristol. Do you have any shout outs?
Let me tell you, victory lane once again is a mess. You know, getting on that plane.
I need to mop the victory lane.
Getting on that plane after causing a mess in Martinsville last night. Now coming here and causing another mess. So we get to fly back to Martinsville again, and I don't even know if they got the mess cleaned up yet. But when it comes to shout-outs, gotta shout out Vinny. He's been putting in a lot of effort. One of them, like he said, it's just a matter of time until one of them falls his way. Shout out to Toasted, really strong tonight. Got me a little bit, impatient. You kind of held me up a little bit here and there, but it's always good battling with him. Good job to him finishing third, and shout out to you guys doing what you guys do here, and making these broadcasts fun.
Yes, sir. And before we let you go, Gavin or Abyss, do either of you two have any questions for the race winner?
I might do. Did you use less ketchup this time, or was it more ketchup mustard? What's the ratio going on right now?
Well, after last night, I told them to bring a bigger bottle of each.
Oh.
He got it at
Get
Sam's
the jet
Club
sweepers, man. Get the jet sweepers.
or Costco. The portions are way bigger.
Tomorrow
Or
is going to show up in
victory
Martinsville
lane.
with a jumbo bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a jumbo bottle and slap a good old big old Circle B diecast logo on that thing. Can't forget about them.
Yes, sir.
Glad they came on and decided to be a partner with us and what we have going on here.
Indeed. Well, Asylums, it seems that they are trying to clean up they'd like to clean up the mess that you have made down here in Victory Lane. So we're going to let you go and get out of here, but congratulations on a victory again, picking up your second Xfinity Series win of the season. And by the way, both on short tracks.
Appreciate it. And I think I just saw my crew chief fall in the ketchup there. Uh-oh. Whoops.
You might want to go help him up.
Yeah, I'm going to go do that.
Alright, see you. Well, guys, very interesting race we've had tonight. We've had a little bit of fun up here. You got to do that sometimes as well. But obviously, before we close things out here, I gotta give my thoughts and as well as shout out a couple people and things as usual. But I mean, you look at this, and I expect we have a great race tomorrow as well at Martinsville for the Cup guys. But we saw tempers flare, I think, more tonight than we definitely did last night, and that's to be expected. This place is so fast, it's so tight, and the way this place drives and the way these cars are kind of, you set them up here, you're a little bit on edge, or you try to drive in deep and get every ounce of speed or every last thousandth, 10,000th of speed that you can find. And a lot of times that leads into overdriving. It leads into small mistakes. Problem is, when you're so close together and you're so close to other guys around you that are all trying to do the same thing, you see contact and you see bumping, you see banging, you see guys wrecking, and we saw a little bit of everything tonight. I thought we might end up with a fuel saver race there in Stage 3. We didn't get that. Instead, we got an amazing show at the end of this thing, and I say it all the time, but again, these guys put on a show. A little bit more cautions than we're used to. But still, we got in quite a bit of green flag racing, and when we went green, these guys showed what they were capable of, and ultimately we saw 3 heavy hitters battle it out for the win. So it was pretty fun to see, and of course, gotta do it. If you don't already have enough diecasts, and none of us do, make sure you head on over to circlebdiecast.com and get yourself some more of those. And they got other stuff too. Again, it's not just NASCAR, which they're coming out with new pre-orders on NASCAR, diecast, that type of thing, 2021 stuff every day, it seems like. But they also have some other motorsports stuff. They have some sprint cars, some NHRA drag racing cars, and as well as some T-shirts and hats and that type of thing as well. So they got everything you need there. Go check them out, please. Go do it. You will love what you get. I can tell you right now, as a huge diecast collector, this is awesome for me. I know, Gavin, you're in the same boat as I am. It's awesome. Both me and you buy a ton of diecasts, so it's nice. But when you go get yourself some of that stuff, make sure you use promo code RHRL at checkout on any purchase that's $20 or more to get yourself free shipping in the U.S. And I can tell you right now, when you buy as much as I do and Gavin does, that shipping cost adds up quite quickly when you're buying some stuff, especially on some of those larger items. So go do that. They're a great partner of ours. Like Asylum said in his interview, I'm so happy to have them on board. It just fits so well with everything we do here, and I couldn't be more pleased. But now that I'm done plugging things in the most genuine way, Gavin, Abyss, what are y'all's final thoughts on the night? We'll start with you, Abyss.
I didn't think today was gonna be as much carnage and wrecks as I thought was gonna happen tonight. We could hear some drivers' radios not as happy as others. So I mean, it was very entertaining. A couple of cautions that shouldn't have happened. So I mean, you're gonna have that sometimes, but hopefully we can get that little thing fixed. Besides, that was a fantastic race. I put a 9 out of 10 on my radar. What about you, Gavin?
Yeah, I'd say that race was not short of any action there. We really got to see everything a Bristol race is. You got to see your multi-car pile-ups. You got to see your traffic jams, your lap traffic. You had some fuel saving in there. Now, obviously, that got cut short. You got to see your late race battles. I mean, there was a lot of up and downs here. And that's just life, you know. That's just a roller coaster ride that you gotta get down in the trenches and hope for the best sometimes. And you know, these guys right here did it tonight, and that's why you'll see a lot of these drivers. They come out every week and put in tons of work, and you see it out there on the track. Every one of them, well-deserved race tonight, and really, really good for all of them that showed up and participated. And they really put on a good show, in my opinion, guys.
I 100% agree, and you'll see that show again tomorrow night too. Me and Abyss will be with Air Just Cause per usual tomorrow night for the Cup Series race at Martinsville. We saw what happened on Friday night. Tomorrow night, I'm like 95% sure we will be under the lights. I love me some night racing, so I can't wait to see that. You're going to see some bumping, some banging, and there's going to be a few more heavy hitters, I would say, as well. Not that we've had any lack of that this weekend, but we're going to have a few more guys, I think, in Cup. It's definitely going to be a very competitive race, I think, and I can't wait to see what happens tomorrow. Of course, Gavin, you will be in that field, so wish you good luck as well, but if you want to tune in, and please do, I promise you, you will not be disappointed in what you watch. Twitch.tv/AirJustCause4 tomorrow night, 10 p.m. We are going live. We will have the racing action for you, and I cannot wait. I love Martinsville. It's one of my favorite tracks. All these short tracks. Honestly, this has probably been one of my favorite weekends of the season. The throwback weekend was fun, but these are two of my favorite tracks. We get them all in the same weekend. I love this stuff. I can't wait to see how we close out the weekend tomorrow. And if it's anything comparable to the rest of the weekend, we're in for a good one.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you there. The short track weekend definitely brings a whole new dynamic to things. Like you said, the throwback weekend was extremely fun. I do enjoy these short tracks. I'd say they're my favorite tracks to race at because there's always some action going on. But, you know, when it comes down to it, I think all these guys can look back and say they left it all out on the track, and I think that's why we saw some of the wrecks we did, is because drivers just giving it their all, and sometimes that happens. I mean, it's not a race without some wrecks. You know what I mean? That happens sometimes. I mean, we love those good clean races where there's no carnage at all. But as a race fan, you love to see those cars get torn up and drivers beating and banging off each other. So this Bristol race was really entertaining, and I'm only on the edge of my seat right now for tomorrow. It's going to be one heck of a show. You're not going to want to miss it. And as always, I just want to thank everyone in this community for the extra support they give every single time we go live, every single time behind the scenes and during the races, and not during the races. So just really cool to see this community come together and rally behind us, and it's really an amazing thing when you got a community of people that all are here doing the same thing you are. It's just really an amazing dynamic, and I know I speak for the rest of us when I say that, and it's just been one heck of an experience with everyone here, and I just can't thank everyone enough for all the support that we get. It's really amazing.
Indeed. I real quick before we close out, I can't express how much it means from my point of view, and I think Abyss and Gavin, I think we all kind of share the same opinion. It means so much to us to know that there's people that come out here to these streams every week, every time we go live, to watch us, to watch these races. It means a lot to the drivers as well. It means a ton to the drivers. It means a ton to the admins, which me and Gavin kind of dual role in, I guess you could say. As well. It means a whole lot to everybody to come out, or for y'all to come out here and watch us. Spend your evenings, your late nights, whatever you want to call it, watching these guys put on a show, and they do it for you. Y'all watching is part of the motivation behind all this, and we can't thank you enough. Truly, I mean that. It's awesome to see. It really does mean a lot, and I think you ask any commentator in this, in the heat community, in the iRacing community, whatever it may be, and they'll tell you the same thing. It really does truly mean a lot to have anybody come out and watching, and all the support that we get through here, through social media, whatever it might be. It's awesome. It's extremely appreciated. I don't even know if I could truly explain it. It means a lot, especially to me personally, for some other reasons that those that know me know more than others, but it's awesome, and I can't thank you guys enough, and I hope you enjoy it, and I hope we continue to see you guys come out here. Maybe we add a few more as well. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, 100%. Abyss, you got anything to add here before we close it up tonight?
Oh, I don't think I got anything else to say.
Well, Abyss, I appreciate that.
I'm just gonna keep it short and simple.
Well, everybody, we appreciate you guys stopping by. It's been a real fun weekend so far. Tomorrow I get to be behind the wheel, which I'm kind of torn. I like to be up here in the booth. I like to be giving y'all the great action that we get to see on a day in, day out basis here every weekend. But it's just as fun to be behind the wheel. So for Dark Abyss, K Harvick fan, I've been Glixen here tonight, and I'm gonna wrap it up tonight. Thank you guys for your support. Be sure to stop by tomorrow to watch Air Just Cuz's stream. It's gonna be a good one, guys. You ain't gonna want to miss it. So be sure to tune in tomorrow at 10 p.m. Eastern at twitch.tv/AirJustCuz4, and we'll be seeing you there. Thank you guys for watching.